Have you ever noticed that sometimes your hamster just suddenly stops and stares at you, completely still? It looks cute, it looks curious, but that might not actually be what's going on, because in many cases, that quiet behavior isn't just a calm moment, it's a warning sign. A lot of people see this kind of reaction and assume it's just part of their pet's normal routine, without realizing it could be connected to hamster behavior, their level of trust, and even possible hamster stress signs. In the environment, and maybe you've experienced this before, that strange moment when he freezes, and everything goes quiet for a few seconds. You look, he stops, and it feels like something changed. But what most people don't realize is that his body reacts before he even understands what he's feeling. Small signals start to show up long before any obvious behavior appears, before fear becomes clear, before discomfort shows on the surface. And that's exactly why paying attention to these details makes such a big difference in the way we care for our pets, and in the way we build trust with them every single day. Because most of the time, this moment doesn't happen by accident. There's a very specific reason, almost instinctive, that explains why this freezing happens right when you look directly at him. And understanding that reason can completely change the way you interpret that simple, motionless stare. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever seen your hamster freeze? Like this, and had no idea what it meant? If that's happened to you, go ahead and share in the comments what you felt in that moment. Your experience might help someone else who's going through the exact same question right now. And if this kind of content is helping you better understand your hamster's behavior and needs, consider subscribing to the channel and sticking around for the next videos. Because here we talk in a simple, direct, and human way about the signs many owners see every day, but very few truly understand. And in the next moment, you're going to discover the silent instinct that makes a hamster freeze, even when everything around him seems perfectly calm. What looks like calm on the surface might actually be his body trying to survive. There's an ancient silent programming inside him, built over thousands of years, long before he ever lived in a cozy home with food always available and a safe environment around him. Hamsters are prey in the wild, and when a yow, predator locks eyes on them, their brain switches on an automatic, almost invisible mechanism that prepares the body for the worst possible outcome. It's not a conscious decision. It's not stubbornness. It's not indifference. It's pure instinct, a fast response that's part of this tiny animal's evolutionary journey. Now I want to go even deeper into this, because understanding it can completely change the way we interpret those quiet moments. Freezing isn't just a strange behavior. It can reveal a hidden truth about how his brain reads the environment, about the split-second decisions his body makes, and about the inner workings of a defense system that's still active, even inside a loving home. And the most surprising part of all is realizing that sometimes this so-called predator isn't a loud noise or a sudden movement. It can simply be the presence of someone looking directly at him without realizing the impact that has. And if this is starting to change the way you see those small reactions, go ahead and comment. This makes sense to me. Sometimes what scares your hamster isn't the noise around him, not a sudden movement, not something obviously threatening. The quietest detail can be exactly what seems harmless to us. Your gaze. For a small animal that spent generations learning how to survive in harsh environments, a fixed stare can feel like surveillance, pressure, a dominant presence. It's a language that happens behind the scenes of instinct. No words, no logical explanation, but with an immediate impact on the body. And this is where many people experience a small shift in the way they see their own behavior, because they realize that what felt like affection or curiosity on their side might be interpreted in a completely different way on the other end. Now, I want to go even deeper into this because this hidden truth reveals something about mindset and perception that goes beyond caring for a pet. His brain doesn't analyze intentions. It reacts to signals. A direct, prolonged, silent stare can be read as a predator watching, as if an important decision is being made in that exact moment. And that automatic interpretation can create tension, freezing, and an internal sense of alert that no one notices at first glance. When we understand this, we start making small changes in the way we act, and those changes transform the entire journey of trust between the two of you. And if this realization changed the way you see those quiet moments, go ahead and write. Now I understand. Freezing once in a while is normal. It's part of the natural defense system of a small animal that needs to quickly assess the environment before making a move. But when it starts happening often, when it shows up every single day, even during simple moments in the routine, something may be drifting out of balance. That constant pattern doesn't appear out of nowhere. It's the result of invisible decisions the body makes in silence, as if it's always ready to react to a threat that might not even be real. And this is the point where many people begin to notice how small changes in the environment, in the way they approach, and in the way they interact, can make a real difference. The journey of trust with a hamster doesn't happen all at once. It's built little by little, in details that seem insignificant, but reveal so much about safety and well-being. Now, I want to go even deeper into this because there's a hidden truth that almost no one talks about. Living in a constant state of alert creates exhaustion. His body keeps functioning, but his mind stays tense, watchful, as if it's always waiting for something to happen. Behind the scenes of his behavior, this can mean less exploration, less curiosity, less energy to play and interact. It's not a problem that shows up right away, but it's a quiet transformation that slowly changes quality of life over time. And that's the part most people miss, because the signal isn't loud, it doesn't demand attention, and it doesn't seem urgent at first glance. And if you've already noticed this kind of repeated behavior in your hamster, go ahead and write, "I started paying closer attention." There's a moment when everything changes, and it almost always goes unnoticed by those who are used to watching only the most obvious signs. It doesn't happen with noise. It doesn't come with a dramatic gesture or an intense reaction. It's something simple, quiet, but full of meaning. It's the moment when he keeps moving, exploring his space, digging through the bedding, or searching for food, even after he realizes you're looking at him. That small behavior reveals a deep transformation happening behind the scenes of trust. It shows that, inside his mind, something shifted. The sense of threat started to fade, and in its place, a feeling of safety began to grow. This change doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of a journey built through repetition, patience, and small, daily choices that, over time, create a real impact on how he sees the world around him. For a hamster, trust isn't just about coming closer or accepting food. Trust is being able to relax in your presence. It's continuing to live normally, without slipping into a state of alert. And when that happens, a hidden truth begins to surface. One that many owners only realize after a while. You're no longer an unpredictable figure. You've become part of his safe world. Now I want to go even deeper into this because this level of trust opens the door to even more important discoveries about behavior, bonding, and the animal mindset. And once you truly understand this process, you start to notice signs that once seemed invisible, signs that show that to him, you're not just someone who takes care of him, you are his whole world. And if this idea touched you in some way, go ahead and write, "He trusts me." And if you've made it this far, following every detail of this conversation, it's because something about this topic resonated with you. Maybe it changed the way you see your hamster's behavior. Maybe it made you pay closer attention to those quiet signals that used to go unnoticed. And that's exactly why this space exists, to share simple, practical knowledge that truly means something, and that helps transform the relationship between you and your little companion in everyday life. If this content made sense to you, consider subscribing to the channel. That way, you'll keep receiving clear explanations based on real observation and genuine care. Insights that help you make better decisions and understand even more about the world of these incredibly sensitive animals. And if this message reached you in a special way, leave this phrase down in the comments. "I'm with you until the end." It shows that you were part of this journey all the way to the final minute. And if at any point during the video you recognized yourself in these situations or noticed something new about your hamster, go ahead and leave a like. That simple gesture shows that this connection mattered, and it helps this kind of content reach other people who also want to care for their pets in a better, more mindful way. There's a video right here on the side that complements this topic and dives even deeper into these signals that seem small, but carry powerful meaning. Click on it and keep going with me there.